Well, good afternoon, Detroit. I am Rufus Bill. I keep saying good afternoon, Detroit. Good afternoon, everyone, all across the world. I am Rufus Bill, and it's another edition of Talking To with Joanne Tosin Fuller and Justin Hearn. Good afternoon, Joanne and Justin. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good
Wonderful. How are
afternoon.
you?
What's the 411, everybody?
All is well, man. All is well.
That's
Yes.
All is
good.
well.
Yes.
So
Sunshiny day.
I know. So a couple of my friends are outside digging up the plant so they can get save their bulbs. I told them to
Mm.
swing by here.
I
I
know.
said, I said
Get yours
come,
too, huh?
come on over here.
Can you send them my way too?
Send them your way.
No, I need some help. Whereas my mother used to say, I need some hope. I need some help over here.
That is too funny. Man, Justin, you've had a full day today.
Yes, today has been definitely busy. I was over at it's called Touching Lives for Jesus. Apostle West is her name, and
Mhm.
I've been going there for at least the last 5 years, and I honor her because being in a season now where I'm pastoring and different things like that, it was people like her who opened her pulpit to me
Okay.
and allowed me to hone in on my gift of preaching. So I told her, anytime you call, I'm coming. I'll be there. So I'm very thankful for her, and shout out to Apostle West and Touching Lives for Jesus Ministries.
Where is the church located?
The church is located on the east side of Detroit. It's at Ashland and Charlevoix. It's right in the
Oh
neighborhood,
yeah.
right on Ashland and Charlevoix. So, yep, that's where it's at over there.
Joanne, you familiar with that area?
That's the area, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar
Yeah.
with Charlotte, and I don't know where Ashton is, but maybe
Yeah.
in my travels this week I'll run across there.
Yeah, so Ashland, it runs from the river all the way to Warren, and at Warren it's no more.
Oh,
Yep. So you
okay.
can hit it from Jefferson, you can hit it from Mack, you can hit it from Warren or any of those. So from the river to right to Warren, right where you familiar with Skating Land?
Yes.
Okay, there's a park that sits right in front of Skating Land. That park
Hmm.
that ends Ashland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay. I never knew that was the name of the street there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A friend of
Joanne, you?
mine lives on Ashland, between actually like between Warren and Mack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she lives on
Yep.
Ashland.
Right there,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Right
Yep.
there, that area. Joanne, so how's your day been going?
It's been going good. It's
Mm.
it's I'm actually at my church at a funeral, so I had to come
Okay.
Mhm.
out and
Oh
to
wow.
join us. Yeah, so I'm at the church library right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's
Now,
almost over. But yeah, I had
do you guys traditionally have funeral services on Sundays?
not traditionally, usually any day, but this one it's
Mm.
been so many late. Like last weekend, I had one on Friday and Sunday. So
Mm.
this is yeah. So it's like nowadays because it seems like it's so many people are choosing
Just choosing any
like
day they can.
weekends. Yeah,
Mhm.
weekends,
Okay.
either Saturday, Sunday, especially with people traveling and stuff like that.
Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah,
It's very interesting to note how every day of the week is being utilized for bereavement services when it
yeah.
used only would be like either a Saturday or during
Mm.
the week.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
convenience for people, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, this was what's caused so many people to select a Sunday because,
Right.
like you did just said, especially if there's travel involved and
Mm-hmm.
people need to come maybe after work Friday or maybe after work Saturday to be able to make it Sunday to hit that road and get right back home to their respective places.
Yeah, for sure.
So, have
Yeah.
you all seen anything interesting this week as you all did your travels?
Um.
I heard, but the one thing that really got me this week, and I know it's been all over the news,
Hmm.
the and it's just heart wrenching to me, and I just don't. But the is it the football player? Now, and I'm trying to remember his name. I've been saying his name, but who had the
You just
accident?
made me
Who was
lose his
driving
name.
154 miles an
Uh,
hour
his
and killed the
name
girl
is
and her dog? I mean,
I didn't hear about that.
yeah. Oh my
yeah.
goodness, it's been all
So
over.
yeah, I can't. His name is escaping me right
Me
now. He's a
too.
second year player from the University of Alabama. He's black. Um,
Uh-huh.
can't be more than like 23, 22 years old. I the story I heard was different. I read an article that said that he was traveling in his Chevy Camaro, high rates of speed north of 100, and ran in the back of a vehicle and killed the driver of that vehicle, who was a man. I haven't checked the sources though, but that's the story that I had heard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Henry
he
Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs,
Yes.
Henry Ruggs the
Yes.
third from Alabama, and he
Yes.
yeah, and they said that he was intoxicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about that is like kind of two ways. I think
Mhm.
I saw a lot from especially from the back black community. It was like he's done, he's done. Like,
Mm.
stupid, he's done. And rightfully so, it's true. It's a mistake, and
Right.
but it made me think about it when I paused for a minute in my thinking, because I felt like, man, you got so much money, it is no way you should be drunk driving. Because if you could literally, you could pay for everybody's Uber at the club, you know what I mean, or
Mhm.
you could literally hire a driver. Like, there is no excuse, whatever. But
Yeah.
but when you look at his age, and I think about 23-year-old me or 22-year-old me, sometimes we don't make the best decisions. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate that his decision has led to somebody dying. And we can only assume how black people are treated in this country when it comes to prison time, that he's probably going to get, whatever the max is, we can assume.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, he's still a human being, and I think that he's allowed to, like, I don't want to say allowed to make a mistake, but he deserves forgiveness. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people has been like, he's done, he's over, he's stupid, and it's like, I get it, but it's like he's still a human being, y'all.
When
And
did this?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But we do have to remember, for every choice we make, there are consequences for
Yes.
Hmm.
everything that we do. But I do agree with you that he is human, and he needs forgiveness.
Hmm.
For sure.
But it's, you think about the other side, the people that lost a family member
Yeah.
because of this
The
decision that he
decision he.
made.
Hmm. Now, has
Yeah.
he spoken out? Has anyone interviewed him regarding the
Not that I know of,
the
no.
No,
accident?
I haven't seen, and I heard the story. It was gut wrenching, and I didn't look. Like I said, I read that one article, and I haven't looked more into it since then. So he may have made a public statement. I'm not sure. Probably not as of yet, because he probably has so much, going on. So much is
Yeah.
on his
And I'm
mind,
sure his attorneys are telling him, be quiet.
not to
Be
be
quiet.
quiet.
Be
Yeah.
Yeah,
quiet.
I'm
Um,
sure.
Hmm.
it's so unfortunate. It's the situation for his part and the family's part.
Yes.
Even the
Yes.
victim in this, is very, very, very unfortunate. But I believe that good still can come from the situation, and so
Yes.
Definitely.
I pray that the best outcome for him, and I pray that the family. Being that, and I'm not saying that money replaces death or anything like that, because it doesn't. I'm pretty sure them loved ones would rather have their family member. But
Hmm.
with the situation being that it is, with his contract and and the money that the NFL has, he's a product of the NFL. I'm praying that their family is blessed, beyond measure, that can change their lives, to some capacity.
Yes.
The like both of you said, decisions have consequences. Um, being in a setting, I take it that he was at a nightclub where he
Yep.
was hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
Hmm.
being
said
in
he
a
had at least 18 drinks. At
18.
least. The witnesses are saying that he had at least 18. I don't know if I don't remember if there was a bartender, but they said that he had at least 18 drinks.
Wow. Now, and just stop there. Eight. You see someone. drinking heavily, and I'm sure going out past the valet or exiting past people that are in the establishment had to see him that he wasn't together, but still allowed him to get that car. And it's something when you make a poor decision, you cannot expect others to assist you in your decision making. You know, because I've seen people that have been inebriated, and you try to steer them in the right direction in terms of don't drive, but sometimes they become belligerent. Um, there's nothing that you can do with them,
Right.
and they just go on and do what they do, and it's really a sad situation on
No, because
all.
I mean, so, like you said, sometimes they do become belligerent, they become violent, they become,
Hmm.
very hostile. Do they, what do you do? Do you call the police right away? Do you, I think each situation is different. So, but, we don't know at this point what the situation was before he got behind the wheel. We don't know. So
Right.
did
Yeah,
somebody try to stop him? We don't know
we don't
because
know.
my understanding is that there was a young lady with him. And so,
Oh,
and it's something that they weren't killed. If you're driving that fast and you
that
hit this,
fast.
but like you said, there's good can come out of this, some good can come
Hmm.
out of this.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and uh, being somebody with aspirations, for a political office and different things like that. I think now he made his own decisions and everything like that, and we know that to be true. But I think that we have to grow to a place of shared responsibility, especially when it comes to an establishment. I don't know how it can be policed, but I mean, after somebody has bought, so many drinks at a bar, we should be like, hey, that's enough. Like
Cut off
there
time.
needs to be,
Right.
yeah, and in places like Michigan, 2 o'clock. But when you at places like Vegas and different other parts of the country, that time can be 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
Um, but I think we have to find a way to work for the common good of everybody, and I don't think that solely leaving that responsibility up to somebody, as we've seen in so many different cases. This is not the first instance where somebody has drunken too much and killed somebody. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? At some point, we have to start looking at those establishments and coming up with creative ways to say, "Hey, when's enough? Or how are we just selling as much alcohol as we can, or are we have that in mind? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yes.
we have to somehow figure out a way to share that responsibility and put that some of that responsibility on the establishment for sure.
Now, at one point in time in Detroit, the bar owners would be held responsible if they
Yes.
had served someone a drink that had should have been cut off earlier, and
Mhm.
they go out and have an accident or some kind of
Mhm.
incident that
Mhm.
the bar owner would be
Mhm.
responsible. Now, I don't know if that rule is still in effect here in Michigan,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it was in effect in other places across the country, but
Mhm.
I would there should be some level of responsibility to the establishment.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
And I
especially.
wholeheartedly believe that,
Mhm.
I mean, after so many, whether it's the server, the bartender,
Somebody got to
the
see it.
management, somebody needs to say,
Right.
we need to cut this person off. Somebody needs to do something. I
You're
Yeah.
right.
do. I agree.
You know.
I agree.
You know. I went to Michigan game earlier this year, and I went with a friend of mine and his little cousin, and we
Mhm.
went into this restaurant, whatever. And if you were 21, if you wasn't over 21, they put an X on your hand
Okay.
and everything like that. So of course the guy, he wasn't 21. So when we checked in, whatever, they put this big X on the top of his on his fist, whatever. And I just wonder, like, even like that, that's an extra measurement to make sure that nobody serves
Mm-hmm.
somebody underage. Well, maybe after you buy a certain amount of drinks or consume somebody, maybe somebody can, hey, all right, let me see here. Okay, you don't get no
Stamp
more,
you right quick or
stamp you
something.
Right.
or something. But that's another thing. But something else, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of changing gears.
Okay.
Something else that that was on my mind. I guess I got wind of this last night. I got wind of this late last night. But apparently there was some big concert in California,
Yes.
where Travis Scott was performing, and I guess the crowd got up to a rage so much that they like tried to storm the stage. I don't know
Really?
exactly because I got bits and pieces, but basically people were trampled, and they're reporting at least 8 people died from being
Yeah.
at this concert, and it happened. So I guess people got so excited, and I don't know if they were just happy to see him or what, but that's just it always reminds me of the Lion King. You remember how the father, how he died, he got
Yes.
trampled by all these things, and it's like
Yes.
some people have, I know, I scream for my favorite team and I holler for my favorite audience, but it just seems a little extreme that 8 people were killed because they was trampled. Like that
Mhm.
just it almost seems unreal.
Yes.
Well, what are some of the measures that you know of that law enforcement agencies use to avoid an incident like this?
Well, definitely barricades. You definitely put barricades. You definitely need to have people in front of the stage. You need to have security tight because truth of the matter is always going to be more spectators than it is security.
Okay.
You when you got these stadiums, and it's really it comes down to self-control because
Mhm.
around the world, city to city, there will always be more people in the city than it is in the police department. And and we saw that in the riots the Black Lives Matter riots we had here. When I was out there on the front lines of them protests, there was always more protesters than
Mhm.
it was police officers, always. But nevertheless, we did what we had to do to make sure that the city of Detroit didn't burn. So I believe that,
Thank you.
yeah, security and all of that are there. But even the Bible says when you got people on one accord with a common goal, hey, it's impossible to stop. And so that's when
Mhm.
we gotta. That's when I think that when you gotta really. I don't think they could have had better security. What I mean? Stuff like that is just not supposed to happen. Like you can't
Mhm.
be that crazy in love or that hyped up in love that you people get trampled and they die because somebody's performing. Like what are we coming to as a world, as a people?
Right. Now, I did
Yeah.
notice on that Travis Scott did make a comment that he didn't know that any of this was going on. That
Wow.
Mm,
that they were trampling over people that were in attendance to the at the concert.
Okay.
So it's really crazy. Look, somebody chimed in. Wanda Frisco said, "I think the bar owner should be held responsible. That was too many drinks for him." Talking about the other case with the Alabama football player to
hmm
have been served, and then they allowed him to walk out. At some point, he should have been told, "Your drinks are cut off." I agree, Wanda, and thank you for
Yeah.
listening and joining in today.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like we just said, even in the case of this outbreak at the concert, poor decision making, poor decision
Yeah.
making.
Poor decision making.
So we know this was a very big week in the city of Detroit because it was election,
Yes.
and some surprises, maybe some not surprised to see the results of what was going on, but we're going to have. Um, Mr. Reggie Davis, the president and founder of the Ceasefire Youth Initiative. He's our special guest today, and he's a politician. So he knows about that whole election process, what it is to serve, and how we should be. And with all that, we want to welcome Reggie Davis back to
Yeah.
the show. Hello, Reggie what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? Brother Rufus,
Good.
Joanne, Justin, how y'all doing?
Hey,
What's
man.
going on? What's going
We
on?
doing good.
Yeah,
We're
good
doing
to see you
good.
guys.
So
Yeah.
so this was election week, and some as I was saying earlier, some people are kind of moping around, and then some people have smiles from ear to ear.
Yeah, this was a pretty good, I think, election because we got 6 new council members, and
Yeah,
a lot
yes.
of it is due to the kind of stick your hand in the cookie jar situation that I guess a couple council persons couldn't help themselves, and the feds came down on them, and
Yes.
one of them really affected because Janae Ayers ran at large against a very dear friend of mine, Mary Waters,
Right.
and Mary defeated her by nearly 3,000 points, about 2,600 or something like that. But Janae Ayers was the highest vote getter in the primary election. She did more than Coleman Young. So
Yes.
Mary Waters was in third place, according to the polls. She was going to come in for sure third place. But because the articles that were put out said that because the feds kicked in her door, Janae Ayers, folk were tired of what had just recently happened with Reverend R.J. Spivey over in District 4 and Gabe Leland in 7. And it just keeps happening, and people were fed up with it. So they decided to vote for Mary Waters, and she is our new at-large council person. I'm very happy for her.
Yes, yes.
You know what's interesting about that, and is that people shaded Ayers for the feds kicking in her door, but it wasn't too long ago, if I'm not mistaken, that the Walters was convicted of something a little while ago. Was it bribery or something like that?
You said Waters?
Yeah, wasn't she
Yeah,
convicted?
it was a situation in 2010. Her the best friend, lover boyfriend, part-time husband, Sam Riddle, had a situation where it was really Sam Riddle that made it happen, but she was it was accused that she took a Rolex watch from someone who was trying to get some things done, try to get some legislation pushed their way to get business in the state of Michigan, and she accepted a Rolex watch. But the feds did not kick in her door. So there's a difference. When the feds kick in your door, that means that there's a real deal.
They got some information on you.
And they're going
to
that's just the beginning of them getting you.
But she was actually charged with bribery, though. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, she was charged. So that means she took a plea for it. So my whole thing is that Ayers, they kicked in her door, but this woman actually, you can look on her record and see she was charged with it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Things, when you look at taking a watch for something and what Janae Ayers did with that whole towing situation, that's almost an enterprise. They could build something on her very strong, which would be far worse than what Mary did. Mary, like you can't compare the two, is what I'm saying. I mean, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
But
wrong is wrong.
Yeah, but it was totally different from those two.
I just think it's interesting that people didn't want her in because her door got kicked in, but they replaced her with somebody who's convicted of bribery. So that was just. But again,
there's a major difference. If you want to look at it, okay, say hey to those that are going to be coming out to vote. Okay, hey, let's weigh the two. So they're both wrong, but you got to vote for somebody to go in there. So who you gonna vote for? Which one? The one who took the watch, or the one who was getting down nasty and dirty with this whole towing company?
It ain't been proven that she did anything yet, though. It hasn't been proven.
Yeah, but
so
again,
it's hearsay.
If the feds kicked Mary's door in and they kicked in Janae's, then me and you have a discussion right now. Right now, we don't have a discussion, believe it or not, because no feds did not kick the door down. And trust me, I know about when the feds kicked the door down. My father was a major level heroin distributor back in the day, and I remember when the feds used to sit outside our house in Palmer Woods every day. I know how they do. I know that when they come at you, that means they're about to get you. They just come in and let you know they're about to get you.
Look,
so Janae, I hate to say it.
They dotted their I's and crossed their T's.
Yeah. So Janae Ayers is actually in a good position that that they didn't have to take her seat from her. So they may give her a little lenience because she's not in elected office now. So she should be happy.
Yeah. Okay. 100%. But to me, to no surprise to anybody, I think we all knew that Mike Duggan was going to win again. It was no surprise to me. I know that his challenger, is a Detroiter through and through and everything like that. But I honestly didn't think that anybody, not only just him, I just think right now is Duggan's thing until he kind of wants to be done with it, unless maybe a more popular challenger would have came along, like maybe James Craig, or maybe one of the people that got all the money, like Dan Gilbert or something. But how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel like Duggan having another 4 years?
Yeah, attorney Anthony Adams, a good friend of mine, of course, was the deputy mayor under Kwame Kilpatrick, and served with Mayor Coleman Young as his chief assistant. He is a good brother, but he had no chance. They called me early on to try to help them out with their campaign. I actually supported him, but to no avail. He didn't have a very good chance against Duggan. But I will say this: I worked with Mike Duggan his first term. He appointed me one of his district managers in Northwest Detroit, and he said day one, I want to do 3 terms, and he's sticking with that. And this, as far as I know from him and everybody around him, this is his last term. He's out, so we need to start to prepare. Rufus, who we're going to put in to bring that black power back out of that office on the 11th floor downtown. That's for real.
Now, Reggie, who do you see right now that could possibly be a consideration for as mayor of Detroit?
Fred Dorhall, and if you want to talk about somebody that's already on the government front, I'll say Fred Dorhall. Mary Sheffield's not really sure. I know her talk to all the time. Everybody, the rumor is that she wanted to be mayor one day. Her father wants it more than her.
I'm sure.
So she, at this point, she may have other plans and may want to leave this whole government piece and go into the private sector between you and me. But so I think someone like a Fred Dorhall, his father.
Now, who is Fred Dorhall? I don't know.
Fred Dorhall just won in District 7. That's the Gabe Leland's old district. So Fred Dorhall is the third. Fred Dorhall Jr., his father was a state representative, and he worked under Coleman Young and followed many of the big names back in the day that were in council and working in government in Detroit. Fred Dorhall. So they're more of the black, bring the blackness back, if I might say. White man came in to play Captain Save him or whatever. Okay, go bye. Now we need to get it back. I'll say that somebody that you need to look at on that front would be a Fred Dorhall. Yeah, look how
Fred used to be a state rep too.
Yeah, he was also a state rep. Yeah, he was himself. And like I say, he's only 38 years old, but he's got a bright future. And I can see Fred Dorhall. And besides someone who's going to come as in the form of a Renaissance type of movement to be out of somewhere else totally to be our mayor, that person exists too. But as far as someone who's in government right now, Fred Dorhall, you guys keep your microscope on him.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I think somebody that I would have said up until the developments this past year would have been Andre Spivey. I think Andre would have probably been a good candidate, and then things happened. The things happened that they happened, and I'm pretty sure that's a no-go now. But he was somebody that I thought was rising up and could take those rings.
Yeah, so Andre Spivey, very, very good, dear brother. That's my man right there. Spivey, I don't know if he would have. He had an idea to be council president, something he chased after and didn't get it. But I didn't get that from him actually. Personally, I didn't really get that from Spivey. But as we know, he's one of, as they say, somebody who none of us would have expected to get in this type of put your money in the cookie jar type of trouble, being a pastor of the big church on the east side, and having the type of the relationship he did with his constituents, those that served his church, and the folk that that worshipped with him for God. So I don't. That was deep to hear that situation, and just pray for that brother, man, because he's going through a lot.
Most definitely.
His personal,
Oh, yes.
some of his personal business, but I know him very, very, very well, and he was going through a little something because of this situation, something near and dear to the heart, and just pray for that brother, please.
So,
Yeah,
so
for
Reggie,
sure.
let's talk about the before Joanne talks about some of the proposals. Let's talk about District 3, Scott Benson,
Yeah.
who was indicted but not charged, but won the district.
Right. Well, hey, Janae got a door kicked in, and Scott Benson got a door kicked in. So Scott Benson didn't have a challenger outright.
Right.
Everybody ran against him with write-ins.
No
So
opponent.
he was out of he didn't even have any real opponents. So he was a straight in there. Had that been the case, I think Scott would have been right with Janae had he had some competition and some others. I think that they both would have been out, but he had nobody to run against him, so he's in there. But here's what could happen. The same thing that happened to Gabe Leland and Andre Spivey. The feds, I'm telling you, when they do that, they're just saying, hey, here's step one, and we coming after you, and we going to get you. That's period. When the feds do that, I know it. So he needs to look out. And I think he'll be in there for about a year and a half, and I think they're going to say, hey, as a part of this deal, my brother, you don't want us to throw you in for a few years. You need to give us that seat on council. That's what they use. Yeah, so that's going to be a situation to look out for sure.
So now, I know there were write-ins for District 3, a little over 700. Now, does the charter allow that if anything happens to Scott Benson in terms of being removed from that office, will they go to the write-ins to pick, or
No,
will they have to do another election?
No, they will do. The council will go before council, and they will have some of the write-ins could be, if they want to, they'll go before council, and they'll be interviewed, and then council will select who will be the person to sit in that seat until the election comes up. I wrote the charter, I was elected to write the charter that exists today. And they tried to put that new charter. It didn't work, but the charter that exists today, I was a part of the team, the committee that put that together. And what we said was it's too expensive to do these what you call these types of elections that you have to just an emergency election. We can't afford to do those. So we said that if this happens to someone in the charter, then it will go to city council, and they will say, okay, who's going to finish this last 3 years or whatever the case of their term. He's out. This person's out. We need to put somebody in that seat. So let's appoint that person. So that person will be appointed by city council.
Okay. Real quick.
So Rufus, you said it was 700 write-ins?
700 total write-ins in District 3.
Oh,
because
they're 3 alone?
Right. It was about 5 to 6 people that were write-in candidates. So I guess totaling all of those candidates.
Oh, got 7.
got 7.
I misunderstood what you were saying.
So, Reggie, I got a question for you real quick. I want to know, since you were part of writing that charter and everything, this whole selection process of selecting a chief, how did that come about, and why do you think that's a effective method, and for the board to approve 3 and then the mayor to pick 1? I'm
sorry.
I would just finish my thought real quick. So I seem to think that allowing the mayor to pick that person outright puts more responsibility and accountability on the mayor than the way that it is now. Because let's say that somebody doesn't work out, and then you could say, well, it was the less of 3 evils, So, like, moving away from that being a direct hire from the mayor, why was that in place?
So I don't know, Justin, you look to be a little bit too young to remember what I'm about to go to, but I know Rufus, Joanne, you guys might not be as old as me, but y'all.
Reggie, you about to get it.
I'm old enough to be all y'all granddaddy. But anyway, I just got that black shoe polish in my hair. Don't get it fooled. So here's the deal, though, Justin. When we put that charter together, I remember, me being a part of putting together the language to present and what we had to support that. And what we went on, you guys may remember a young lady by the name of, I think it was Ayanna. She was a little girl who laid on her couch taking a nap.
Yeah.
And the police
On the
came
east
by and
side.
shot up the crib
Got
and they
shot.
took her life. And at that time, it was Warren Evans, who was our police chief, and the mayor, the basketball player. What he did was, Dave Bain, he swept that story up under the rug when council and the police commission wanted to know what was going on. Police commission couldn't say too much because they work for the mayor. They have more power through the mayor, and council just couldn't get nothing done. So what we did, my rationalization on putting the language together for that was, hey, the mayor has too much power. The mayor should choose his police chief. Don't get it wrong, but there should be some accountability on somewhere else, because when the mayor swept that under the rug and we were trying to figure out, hey, the police shot the young lady, what happened? What were the consequences? Did they get in the house? Did they shoot somebody else? Why were they there? That he didn't want to answer those questions, and the police chief had to listen to him. As much as the chief at that time wanted to answer the questions, he could not, because the mayor said be quiet. So that's something we didn't want to happen. So with this the language, it says that the charter group that was coming in recently trying to put that new charter together, that's one thing that I supported with them, that we're not giving the mayor all those many choices on the police commission, so that we could have a more even keel, some kind of equal balance as far as who we're putting in that position. But I think it works pretty well. What happens is, if the police chief says he's resigning or whatever, he's stepping, okay, fine. So we're going to put together a group that will search all over the country for the most dynamic police chiefs that will come back. Police commission will look at it. City council will have a check on it, and the mayor will finally make the decision. But the mayor's not saying, hey, my boy Kevin down the street, my best friend, could be my police chief. Right. He still has to go through not only city council finally approving it, but police commission breaking down that list for him. So I actually like the way that works.
Okay.
Yes.
So in District 4, I was really shocked. The District 4 is the race with ML Eric and
Letitia
Johnson.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is the same district that
Spivey.
Right, but Tucson Knight was there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, ML came out as the lead in the primary. What do you think happened that it switched where she got like almost 2,000 more votes? Now, I didn't see a lot more of her increased advertisings or anything, but I see something happen where she won.
Well, ML, I thank God that he didn't win, because the takeover would be coming sooner. So I'm so glad he did not win.
Wait, Reggie, why are you glad he didn't win?
Hey, let me tell you something, man.
As a journalist, you're a journalist, and he's a journalist, and we're kind of held to a higher standard. You don't think that he would have been able to serve with integrity?
No, that's not the point. That man took a lot of black families and separated them on Fox 2 when he would just, because he wanted to, choose any black man, especially man, who was in elected office, and no matter what the case, because he made $200,000 a year, his job was to take him and shake him up, the black man. And I got the whole lot on him. We don't want to go out. This ain't what the show is today, but I'll say this. I'm glad the ML did not win. He raised the most money, raised over, I think it was $160,000 altogether.
Yes.
More than anybody. Tucson Knight, who I used to work with Mayor Duggan, decided to jump on his team and help with his crew of boys, going out, putting all the signs up everywhere on ML, and ML was looking good. But Letitia, let me tell you, Letitia Johnson, who I know very, very well, because when I was with the city, she worked out in zoning, on the zoning board. She's very familiar with city government. And Letitia, the community activist that she is, her and her husband, she had the support of the women, the should I say, the senior ladies of that community in the district that my dear brother, my long lost brother, who's in heaven right now having a good time, lost his life to gun violence. Vito Davis went to Denby High School, had a scholarship to Eastern Michigan. That's his district over there. And I would say that Letitia had the support of the senior ladies. They were in droves supporting her. I saw that throughout the campaign. And I will say that's how she got that victory, because of the senior ladies in District 4.
And she was humping. I'm District 4.
Okay, Joanne, then you know what I'm talking about.
She was out there. Trust me. That girl worked
I like her.
Yes, I'm happy she won.
Yeah.
I am
As
very
a matter of
happy
fact, I'm gonna throw this in. You asked about mayor. I think those are the two that Fred Durhal and Letitia Johnson. You want to talk about mayor in the future? Those that are already in government, in local, in city government. Fred Durhal and Letitia Johnson have the best record and the best, and they do have it. I know for sure both of them are interested in that position of mayor. For sure, I know this personally, and I think those are the two that look out for them. Fred Durhal, Letitia Johnson could be, if that's an open seat, especially Duggan does one more term and goes bye-bye, they will step up. Fred Durhal and Letitia Johnson for mayor of Detroit.
You're watching and listening to Talking To. I am Rufus Bill, Joanne Tosin Fuller, Justin Hearn, and we have a special guest today, Reggie Davis, and he's just bringing us up to date with these election results and putting his input in, or giving his input about where the direction of the city is going. Now, Reg, District 6. Now, I didn't know any of these these two front runners, Gabriela San Diego Romero,
right,
who won, and then Hector Santiago. Now, are they related?
No, man. No, they are not related. And where you going with that, brother? Be careful.
It's like
I'm just stirring the pot on a Sunday afternoon, Reggie.
Right, I get you. They're both of the Latino persuasion, of course, in Southwest Detroit, Gabrielle and Hector. I don't know either one of them. This is the only district that I don't know the candidates or the those that have run for that seat. But I will say this, that Gabriella is a good friend of Mary Sheffield's, and this is what I want all of you to know before we go into the proposals and everything. Mayor Duggan, I don't know if you saw it on TV. He said, "I never support anybody when I was in office. I never backed in my whole time here, but I'm supporting Gabrielle." And it's amazing because Gabrielle is Mary's friend, and Mary and the mayor are not cool. So
interesting.
Politics makes for strange bedfellows. I say that to say this. The mayor's going to have a tough time. We got 6 new city council persons, and all his buddies fell off. Janae Ayers, Scott Benson on his way out, even Councilman Roy McAllister, who got his butt handed to him by a teacher who just said she's fed up and wanted to make a change, Sister Angela. And what I'm saying is the mayor, he had his little team in his pockets and had his 5 votes the first 2 terms. That man doesn't have 5 votes right now. He's got 2.5 votes. He's got Scott Benson for the little while he's there, and James Tate. That's 2. And Coleman Young is going to be the flip flopper. He go all over. They ain't nothing like his dad. He going to be all over. So the mayor's going to have a tough time in his last term getting those 5 votes to get things done. I want to say that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Now, what do you know about Angela Calloway other than her being an educator?
So Angela Calloway, I don't know her. We know of each other. A friend of mine who I helped in the primary with, his father, Virgil Smith Jr., who ran in District 4 against Letitia and ML, didn't make it through the primary course, but Virgil is very good friends with Sister Angela, and he actually is most likely to be her chief of staff. He helped her to win. He does her campaign of reporting, finance reporting, and a lot of stuff that she did. Virgil Smith was very instrumental in helping her. As a matter of fact, that they did a piece that went out in District 2, a literature piece that showed how Councilman Roy McAllister would not say anything about that $600,000 that the folks should have that lost that money to, as far as the property taxes. On this literature piece, they literally said, they had his face on there, and it showed everybody that supported it, went against it, and they said, look, he didn't say nothing. We asked him to say something, he didn't say nothing. She said, to this day, she thinks that that's the reason why she won, is because he didn't want to say anything, have anything to do with that $600,000. That's because he was in the mayor's pockets. Right.
Wow.
So as we're moving forward, before the city clerk. Now I cast my vote for the new guy, but as you see, Janice Winfrey won again against Denzel Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell. Yeah, cool. Nice campaign though. He really did. I give it to him.
I thought he did as well. Especially, this was my first time knowing for him to ever run for an office. What do you think about that particular?
I knew he didn't have a chance. Janice is just as strong as Mayor Duggan. Her name, it's huge. And as much as a lot of people say, okay, we've had enough of her. Both of the clerks, actually, I think it's it's time for them. They did the job, did a good job. Go on and hand that mantle to somebody else. You guys are getting too comfortable in those positions, and that's what happens in these offices. And a lot of people say in city government, we don't have term limits, and we don't need them, but I beg to differ. You may want to look at that a couple more times, because I just don't like when people get in there and they've got that name and they're comfortable and they're just getting you're too comfortable. You know what I mean?
I thought.
And do you think it's mayor? I mean, it's name familiarity versus
of course
really looking at the people. That's what I think. I think that a lot of this is just
name recognition.
I remember that name, so I'm marking that name.
Absolutely. You'd be surprised at the many people that do it, the number of people that do that. Many seniors, especially. Yeah,
especially seniors.
Yep,
definitely.
I know that name, baby. I'm gonna vote for. I know that name.
I remember that name.
Oh, yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yes, it is. So where do you think we're moving in? What type of direction? Now that we have so many new people on the city council, the mayor has a challenge with having people to vote in his favor. What do you think, Reggie?
I think that Detroit is seriously ready for a true comeback to what we are. We are a black city to this day, the biggest black city. Even though we've lost population, get more whites in, and we're down to probably about 77% or so. But at the same time, we are still the mecca of Black America, Detroit, and we need to go back to that what Coleman Young, the mayor Coleman Young, not his son, he ain't nothing like his father. We need to go back to that Coleman Young, black man, black male leadership, or however the case. We need to get, if it's a sister, we need to get this city back. The leader of our city needs to be what the majority of the people in the city are, and that's black. And I say that all day. And I think that's where we're headed finally.
I agree, Joanne.
You really believe? So you really believe that? Because I'm looking up and it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The population seems like it's changing. So as I drive around, especially on my side of town, the East, the Jefferson, the East English Village, Mornings. I mean, it's wow.
Oh yeah, it is. And I saw that over the campaign, and you got in my District 1, you've got Rosedale Park, North Rosedale, Grandmont. You got, I see it. And in the district I grew in too, Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, Green Acres, University District, all of that, Bagley community. Yeah, you're right. It's
and downtown. Oh my goodness.
Downtown, and you're right. But at the same time, we are still black. And I think that a good case scenario for us to look at is that race over in your district for ML. As much as people were afraid that all that money he had, and he was all that's people talking right there. That's what Detroit. You guys are a microcosm of the macrocosm. What happened in District 4 is a sign for Detroit. I think the entire city is saying, okay, white man, you came, did your thing. The young black man with the earring, he was too young, messed up. Then the old man, you came, okay, black basketball player, but okay. We let the white man come try to play Captain Save us, and he did it. Okay, go on, get up out of here, and let's bring this back to the people. I truly believe that it's going back black.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah. So let's look at those proposals, Joanne.
So help me with these, because so many people are so confused about these proposals. We have Proposal R, Proposal E, and Proposal S. So R was about
the reparations.
The reparations. So help people understand that Proposal R and what that really means, because people talking and well, I didn't know all these. I thought it meant the opposite. Help us understand Proposal R, because Proposal R, it won.
Right.
What did it say? 80%, I think it was.
Yeah, 80.1%. Yeah, and so I'm not the proposal guy, but I will say this: I just like anybody else, I do not like how they won't put it in elementary terms what it really means, so we can yes or no. Right. Because I'll tell you, I'll go in there if I don't understand, I'm voting no just because I don't understand it. But Proposal R is about reparations, and Mary Sheffield was responsible for it. And I used that what she did as an example of being a charter revision commissioner. How this new charter guys came in and they were trying to put together us to go and vote for this charter that is going to give us reparations. That's not what that does. That doesn't work that way. So the way it works is our legislators, city council, it's their duty to listen to our voice and then go in and put something like this on the ballot. Mary Sheffield is responsible for putting proposal R together about reparations, and I'm glad she did it. And this is the way that government is supposed to work, not just throw everything in the charter, everybody vote for the charter, and our life is all in the charter. That's not what a charter is. A charter is the framework document of how city government operates. That's it. We allow the elected ones to do their job. We don't do our job through our charter. Anyway, that's another discussion. So proposal R with reparations, Mary put that in there. It got voted up. So what happened is they'll vote in a task force that will actually come together to do research to find out about other cities that are receiving reparations, or find out what it is, what we're really saying about reparations. Are we talking about everybody gets a big fat check from the federal government or the state, and we dump it, or do we put it in education? Do we take monies and start to teach people what reparations is and set up funding for them to get to it, if they get to a certain level? I mean, it's just different ways we can do it, but this is really just about putting together a group of people that will sit at a table and they will discuss and research and talk about reparations for Detroiters and what the do's and don'ts and what we can and cannot receive, that kind of thing.
Right, because a lot of people, I think they were confused when it said reparations. A lot of people thought, and I think that's why it got like 80. Would you say 81% almost?
80.1.
Because
yep.
a lot of people thought, I'm going to get a check.
Right.
Reparations, that means money to me.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily what that means.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you asked about that, because a lot of people ask me that to this day, even those that voted for it, they think they're getting a check. Reg, where my check at? So we're not yet.
So that's your cousin.
So
right.
Right. And then proposal E, that one 61%.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people had this thing about, well, I know they mentioned something about what is this? These mushrooms and stuff, and yeah,
entheogenic plants. Yeah, the mushrooms. I thought that this was a group. From my research, I thought this was a group of white boys trying to put this together. I'm like, okay, I see the marijuana. Every time marijuana's on the ballot, all the black people vote. We only voted a few times. Majority of cats that like my age or a little younger-ish, kind of, they voted for the young black hip hop mayor. They voted for the first black president, and they vote anytime marijuana's on the ballot. I thought this was a group of white boys though with some mushrooms, but this was actually a group of brothers and sisters that put this together, and it they're talking about how we can take mushrooms to better our health, just like marijuana, medicinally speaking. So that was a surprise to me that made it to the ballot, but it did, and it won. So hey, here we go.
I was surprised with that as well.
I was really surprised, especially when we start talking about hallucinogenic drugs.
Right.
Hallucinogenic. Because I mean, that already to me has a negative connotation.
Yeah, but they spell it out in a way that it's supposed to be helpful to us. So this was a big surprise. That was a big surprise. Big surprise.
So maybe you're just hallucinating that you're ill.
Right. You wake up and you feel better, right? Or your mind.
And when you take the mushrooms,
right.
You have all about
that you well and you're not.
Right. That's crazy. But all you got to do is get a certain amount of signatures to get something on the ballot. So that's what they did, and it's on there.
Oh my goodness! And then I could say a lot about it, but anyway, the last was proposal S, and that was to change the Detroit City Charter to allow more citizens to control in dividing the funding.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was just and it didn't win, but that was given the people in a nutshell. It was the people from the new charter that didn't win. That was them putting together something to try to say, okay, I actually supported it. I actually think that the people should have more of a say so in what our government, our elected officials are doing. Because when you vote them in, let them just do everything 1,000%. That's not too cool. We should be responsible for something. So I actually kind of supported that. But as you see, it got voted down 53.9, 46.1%.
Right.
And again, in a nutshell, it's saying that we the people, the residents, the citizenry of Detroit can have something to do when you talk about money and different things in the charter. But it went nowhere.
And a lot of people have questions on that one because they say it really doesn't specify anything.
Right.
There's
Exactly.
no definitive statements about anything.
Exactly.
So I think that's why it was almost split.
Yeah, but see, here you go. But this is a good example of what I said earlier. This is a reason why people voted no, because they go in there and don't fully understand it. I know when I don't fully understand stuff on these proposals, I just vote no because I don't understand it.
Right. Because it seems like a lot of proposals, the way you read it, is actually opposite of the way you should vote. They try
to trick you.
Right. In that wording.
The wording.
Makes no sense how they do it.
Like you said, can you just put it in black and white? Can you just put it in simple English so people can understand what they're voting?
Make it easy. Then we'll say yes or no.
Yes.
I don't know why
my intelligence. I mean, I think I'm intelligent enough to understand basic English.
Right.
I know I am.
Exactly.
I know I am.
Right.
So just tell me what you want to do, and let me decide if I want you to do that to me.
I know that's right. You said it, Joanne.
well, Reggie, what before you go, what's your prediction as we move forward with the city of Detroit? And there's a lot of things. There's always controversy with the demolition project. There's always conversation about the mayor having his people on the city council. As we have as you've already stated about where the mayor stands with that, but as we move forward, going into 2022, your prediction for Lady Detroit?
I think Detroit again is on the rebound of where we once were during the Coleman Alexander Young, Mayor Coleman Alexander Young experience. I think that we're going to start to see, even though more white people are coming into town, we're going to start to see things go back. I hate to say it like this, but go back to black, and meaning we're going to start to see our leaders in the mayor's office soon, and already in council, where we have people that look like you and me, like us, that are in these seats and are really, really working on our behalf, not just in those seats and then they're in the white man's pocket, because the white man won't be there too much longer. It'll be us, and it won't be one of us that is really working for the white. You know what I'm trying to say? So
yes, I do.
Back to us leading us, like, wholeheartedly. I think that's where we're going. That's my prediction. That's what I smell. That's what I see. And that's what I hope will happen for this great city that we call Detroit, for real.
And my hope is that a lot of these black businesses that were, for lack of a better term, and just the truth to me, were forced out of business, especially in downtown area. I mean, a lot of the neighborhoods. I'm looking for a lot of black businesses to come back.
Yep, and that kind of thing, Joanne, is exactly what I'm talking about. That will start to happen when Rufus, you say, what do I see? What Joanne just said, black businesses, small businesses will start to come back. You remember Coleman Young was our mayor, Joanne? He supported the hell out of black businesses. And I think we're going
black businesses on every corner, every neighborhood, every downtown, the black businesses. And then all of a sudden, when all this started happening, it seemed like they were just forced out downtown. People were, buying these buildings, then they're not renewing their lease. And they've been there 35, 40, 50 years. All that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to see coming back to the neighborhoods, to downtown, all of that.
Yep, because nothing against these brother Chaldeans, but if anything, we're gonna get a brother or sister in office who really is one of us and really represents us, and they're gonna do like, I forget that country years ago, and I can't remember the name. I shouldn't be talking about it because I can't remember. It's an African country in the 40s, 50s, where there was a warrior, an army general, big, just I think he was 6'6" and 300 solid muscle pounds.
Yes.
He said all the Chinese people, Asian people were just like the Chaldeans here, ran all their businesses. He got up, he said, y'all got 60 days to get the hell out of my country. And they all got out. Now,
they had to get out.
It's going to be something close to that. Okay.
Well, Reggie, final thoughts. Barbara Rose Collins.
Barbara Rose Collins. Wow.
She made a transition this week.
Yeah. And
84.
Do you know?
I didn't realize she was 84.
Me either.
And who's I about to say that? Oh, Fred Dorhall, the junior.
Oh, junior. Okay.
Who's in the seat right now? His dad.
Mm-hmm.
He came up under Barbara Rose. He learned. He was intern for her.
He
Worked
sure
for her.
did.
Worked for Barbara Rose Collins and Mayor Duggan. Mayor Coleman Young. And Barbara Rose Collins, he was the reason why Fred Durhal says that Collins is the reason why he got into government.
Okay.
Politics. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Because of Barbara Rose Collins. And he speaks about highly of her all the time. So again, the Fred Durhal, who's in District 7 right now, his lineage, his family goes back to the Barbara Rose Collins and the Mayor Coleman Young. So that's a beautiful thing. Rest in peace to that sister.
I can remember as a child her having that rose on her campaign.
Yeah, yep. We all remember that. My
sign.
grandma Hattie Mae, my late grandmother Hattie Mae from Rome, Georgia, used to follow Barbara Rose Collins, Coleman, Alexander Young, Buddy Battle, all of those cats back in the day. Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah,
something.
Rest in peace.
How time just marches on.
Yes, it
man.
Mr. Reggie Davis.
No man.
No, it does not, Joanne. Reggie, we thank you so much for being our special guest today, and we thank you for also coming on prior to the election and talking to us about everything, the candidates, and coming on after the election. And we're going to continue this this fellowship between you and Talking To. So you can get expressed, all right?
I'll be more than happy, Brother Rufus. I appreciate it. Yeah, Joan, thank you guys so much. And y'all need to change the name of your little show to WRJJ, Rufus, Justin, and Joanne.
Well, I'm going to take that from you as a professional.
I'm just teasing with
some juggling some things here, Reggie.
But thanks, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Take care. God bless you. All right.
All right. Have a great one.
Okay. All right now.
All right. Our special guest was Reggie Davis today on Talking To. What did he say we changed it to? What?
RJ and J.
RJ and J.
Justin and Joanne.
I love it. I love it. And he was our guest today, and he just brought us up to date about the election, his thoughts about the new candidates, or should say the those that are elected to these offices. And so we're just going to sit and see what's going on. And before we get out of here, Joanne, one of the great music pioneers of Burns Avenue, 70 has made her transition.
Yes, Sister Alice Strawbridge. Oh my goodness. Grew up with her, just, she was 94.
Unreal.
What a long, good, wonderful life. And she taught, because she taught at Peterson. For those who don't know, it's a parochial school in Inkster, Michigan. She taught music there till she was 88, 89.
I know.
I loved her. She was just awesome. Remember her as a child over the, youth choir, and just a wonderful woman of God. She really was.
Yes. When I was going to Clinton F. Warren, Miss Strawbridge was the music teacher, and Miss Strawbridge, Sister Strawbridge didn't drive, and she would get that Van Dyke bus over there to Van Dyke and Davidson and come over there and teach us the songs, especially for the programs that the school would have. And then I eventually joined YFC, Youth for Christ. That was the name of the youth choir, and I would always love that whenever she would get in her element, she would hold her head back and she put that arm behind her back.
Yes, she
remember
did.
that?
Oh,
and she would just direct, and we better not miss a beat or miss our cue.
Yes.
And she was serious about her music. I thought I had my glasses. So when we would have a practice before AY and after morning worship, if the dynamic duo, she and Anthony Thornton, if Anthony was not there yet, she'd get on the piano and pick out the notes, and then she'd take those glasses and look down. I mean, she was such an
her song was Watch Ye Saints.
Watch Ye Saints. That's right.
That was the hymn that she would direct, like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God, like crazy.
Oh my goodness. That was her hymn.
That was her hymn.
Like for a long time, every time we sang that song in church,
She was
She would
directing.
have to be. We like, oh, nobody can direct this song but Alice Strawberry. Not at all. I'm
And-
telling you,
and
but
I
she
was
touched
just
so
thinking,
many lives. I mean,
so
I could
many
just, I mean, not
lives.
hundreds. I'm sure it's
Thousands.
of lives. Whether it was probably teaching them piano, teaching them, choir,
Voice.
just
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I just ask that our friends out there just keep the Strawbridge Gardner
The Garners,
family,
yes.
Jones, because she has her maiden Jones
Oh, that's
family
right,
in
Jones.
prayer.
Mhm.
Yeah, just keep them all in your prayer.
I
Yeah.
was thinking this morning, remembering, I think they sang on the third Sabbath, the ladies' chorus.
Okay.
And their
Oh my
purple
goodness, the
robes.
ladies'
That's
chorus.
going way back.
That's way back.
Way back.
Yes. My mother used to play for the ladies' chorus sometimes.
I was going to say, I thought Sister Tosin played for the ladies' chorus. I thought she did.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
good
man.
friends because we lived on Burns and they lived on
Iroquois,
right behind almost. Yep.
Yeah.
We could walk to their house.
And it was so wild how those ladies, that sound that they had was so unique, and it just blend, and the partnership between Sister Strawbridge and Anthony Thornton was just unmatched.
Unmatched.
Just all those years being at Burns, it was just those, they worked so closely together. Yeah, it is just something. But she, like you said, she's touched thousands of lives.
I'm telling you,
and will be greatly missed.
Just think of the music that we had and have. Just think with the Heavenly Choir.
Oh my Lord. Unbelievable.
Look, sometimes I can't take it down here. I know I'm gonna have to be changed because I want to take it up there.
Joan, we're gonna give you your own nurse. Just paying you. How's your week looking, Joanne, coming up?
Oh, it's looking good. It's
looking good.
Yeah, just hey, so far so good.
All right.
So far it looks like. How about yours?
It's looking great too.
Yeah.
Made in the shade, I like to say.
All right now. Get out there and dig those bulbs up.
I'm sitting in the kitchen today and I've been waiting on my friends to come on through. They said, keep pressing it.
And that's one of the things I have to do this week. And I said I wasn't gonna get caught, but we had that deep frost the other day. So I got caught. But it's supposed to warm up this week. So I'm gonna get out there and clean up and
do what you do.
All of that. Yeah. I have
Sounds
to.
like
Yeah.
Sound like a winner. And let me just say, Justin had an engagement. That's why he's not on the close with us. He's delivering a sermon tonight at a 5 p.m. service. And as soon as Joanne and I can, we're going to get over there and see Justin.
Yes.
In another aspect of his life, delivering the word. So Joanne, as always, it's just a pleasure. Have a great evening.
You too.
And we will be together next week on Talking To.
Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
You too.